I think we're all fucking ready to do this. So let's get down to business.
Round 2.
Let's do it. It's go time.
You got the touch. You got the power.
Get this first shot handle.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
We are down a man.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't down all this. No, there's a lot in here.
You don't have to down all of it, yeah.
That's like 3 shots.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
If you wouldn't mind.
Oh, yes, of course. All right, so here we are. Podcast number 2, episode 2 of Grown-Up Human Comic People. I'm Jared, to my left.
Dan.
Jer.
And also Dan.
Hello,
Is there a
I'm
way
Larry,
we
this is my
can-
brother Dan, this is my other brother Dan.
Is there a way we can distinguish between the Dans?
Well, you introduced yourself last time as Daniel.
Oh.
Daniel. Yes, I'm Daniel Dongilly.
Okay, yeah.
So proper.
Patrick. Daniel Patrick.
I think your voices are different enough that people can tell
Yeah.
the difference, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, all right, yeah, let's get down to it. Let's get right down to it. Dan, do you have anything, we'll call this first section Shop Talk.
Shop talk.
Shop Talk.
Okay. Well, it wasn't a giant week of releases. But I sold out of Paper Girls, which was good. I sold like 20 plus copies.
Yeah.
It was, and we're gonna talk about this book later. But the week it came out, I think I only sold like 3, and then the internet hype, it just brought people in and they were picking it up, which was nice.
I know that when I was in here, you recommended it to me. I as a result, I picked it up.
Mhm.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
Did
I was pushing on a lot of people.
Yeah.
It came out the week of the first podcast, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I picked it up when we were in here and like blew through it. I was like, this is
Yeah.
fucking incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. Marvel didn't do anything giant this week. They only had 3 number 1s. But Karnak is by Warren Ellis. So any Warren Ellis fans out there, he's writing a comic book about an Inhuman named Karnak.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
I saw that when I was in here the other day, and I didn't pick
Who's
it up.
Karnak again?
He I guess I don't know a lot about the Inhumans, but I guess he was on the Royal Council, but he committed suicide in a book like two years ago, like Inhumanity or something. He jumped out a window and said like, "I've seen the secret of life and I hate it," and he just dove out a window, and that was it. Like we thought he was dead, but he's back.
So he pulled a Hemingway, and now they brought him back.
Yeah, and Warren Ellis. I mean, he'll probably only write it for 6 issues, like he did Moon Knight, but it was quality. Check it out. We're not talking about superheroes today.
We're not talking about superheroes. Yeah. We're focusing on. These are all Image books, right? Are they all Image?
Oh
no,
Twilight
Children
Children is Vertigo.
Vertigo. Okay. But yeah, we're stepping back because we kind of want to give people the idea that, if you listen to the podcast and, a lot of people think that comic books are all about superheroes, and that is absolutely not the case.
Right.
You have any number of, you were just saying earlier, there's any number of genres.
Mm-hmm.
If you like a genre of anything, chances are you go into a comic book shop and you can find, anything you want to read about.
That's very true. It's another medium for fiction. And it's a pretty good one too, especially if you don't like to read long books. I mean, you can come in and even pick up a trade paperback or graphic novel, 6 issues of a comic, and you get through a story, and they're pretty affordable too.
Yeah.
Like Image sells, I would say 90% of their volume 1s, the first 5 or 6 issues of a series for $9.99.
Yeah.
It's a really nice introductory price. If you don't like it, what the fuck, you spent $10? Like,
Right.
Oh well.
That's one drink. I think we talked about this last time.
Yes.
Measuring things in drinks.
Right.
It's like one
Right.
drink at an expensive bar.
Yeah.
You get like a nice whiskey. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like to. I think that the comics are kind of like halfway between movies and books because you've got it's literature, but
Mhm.
you don't they don't spend as much time on describe, like, it's not, you get no Tolkien where it's like,
Right.
Yeah.
here, this is what it looks, this is what the atmosphere looks like,
Oh,
this is
that's
what
rough.
the
It's
environment
rough.
looks like. Like, okay, I get it.
I haven't made it through that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You
I'm
guys,
still on book 1.
Yeah, it's
Wait, they have books?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Still
Yeah, there's books.
I see what you did there.
you guys ever read George R. Martin?
Yeah,
Game
of course,
Thrones?
of course.
He'll like it's like 4 or 5 pages about
It's food.
Food.
It's always about food.
Yeah, like
yeah.
food.
Yeah.
like I don't care about the chicken pot pie stew that they ate in Westeros.
And the one hand, I agree with you, but on the other hand, sometimes he does make me really hungry.
He does, but
Yeah, he's good at writing about food,
he is
and he's
pretty
good at writing about sex.
He
But
loves it.
sometimes, when you think about who's writing it, you're like, I don't want to think how this guy's thinking.
Yeah, because
Like, I don't want to know what's going on in his head. Like, he's like,
pictures of him.
yeah, picturing him doing these things. Like, I
And
don't
then
know
he's
about
talking about like 18-year-old girls.
that. Yeah. Yeah, and this is nothing. I love George Martin. Like, he's a fucking fantastic writer, and I love those books so much. And if you only watch the show and you don't read the books, fuck you. Go read the goddamn books. But yeah,
Read them.
anyway, in a comic book, you can see, what's happening. So you can focus more. The writer can focus more on the actual dialogue or what's
Yes.
happening than the setting and describing it.
Yeah,
A lot of times you have whole pages where there's no dialogue at all,
Yeah.
just stuff happening, and that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
The writer puts the storytelling in the artist's hands, and
Mhm.
that's pretty cool. Sometimes I mean, you could just see it unfold, panel to panel.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like in the way they're written now, like 6 issues, 5 issues completes a story arc.
Yep.
It's like a half season of a TV show almost.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of this translates well to television too. I mean,
Yeah.
Why the Last Man just picked up officially by FX, put into production. That's it's been a long time coming, but I think a lot of people are pretty excited about that. I mean, that's pretty good science fiction. It's got some humor in it. Anybody read it here?
No, I haven't read it.
No, I've never even heard of it.
Very, very highly recommended. Brian K. Vaughan, the author of Paper Girls and Saga. There's this dude named I think Yorick. He's the last man on Earth. Like some disease wipes out all of men, and he and his male pet monkey are spared for some reason.
What?
Yeah, and like
Well, now you got me.
Wait,
Okay, there's
yeah,
a pet monkey.
Pet monkey.
I'm
Is
in.
there a pet monkey?
I'm
Maybe
down
it's
with
a
that.
pet monkey.
Yeah.
Yes. So
There aren't really enough monkeys on TV.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
we're gonna get to see one.
I mean, any which way but loose. I mean, that was
Yeah.
Clint
What else
Eastwood.
is there?
I mean, they just hit the pinnacle. They reached
Yeah.
the top of that. Like,
Ross
Left
from
turn,
Friends had
five.
a,
Like
had a
30
pet
years
monkey.
ago.
Didn't Ross from
Or
Friends have a
not.
pet monkey, right? Marcel?
That doesn't even count. That was so shitty.
That monkey was adorable, though.
That was the dumbest show I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm not
the
gonna
fact
pretend
that
I
it
don't
went on
enjoy
for,
some
for
Friends
so many
sometimes.
seasons. Can't do it.
Mm,
It depresses me. It makes me realize what my life could look like. I get less depressed by like driving underneath the tent streeper on 2nd Avenue and seeing like the homeless camps. Like that's less depressing to me. Like I would rather see my life there than surrounded by those fucking idiots. Like that's how I feel. Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
Friends is great. People.
So the bottom line is, we really like comic books, and they're not just about superheroes. That's where we were going with that.
Yeah, like there's something for everybody. There really is. So if you feel like I wouldn't like comic books, I could probably put something in your hands and you would probably like it. If you tell me like I enjoy this genre.
Put something in
You
the
sickos.
Well, no, I'm not even prone to fucking innuendos.
That was a
but
good
that
one.
Was,
that was a really good one.
That was like on a silver platter.
yeah.
I'm speaking from the retailer.
Yeah, that doesn't diminish what you just said at all.
That was a good one.
I guess I through that one up to you.
Yeah, that was the end. That was the end of Rookie of the Year. Just that waft. All right, so
The point is, I think that if you're turned off to comics, it's because you're closed fucking minded. Like there's some really awesome shit. Like
Well, don't
like
yell
Dan
at the
was
people
saying.
before they come in.
True.
Well, I mean,
you don't like
if you're listening
comics,
to this,
fuck you.
You probably like comics. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
and if
yeah.
you're listening to it, you're probably not, entirely shut off to the idea
That's
of
true,
walking
yeah.
into a comic book store.
That's a
you
good point.
know?
Yeah, yeah. If people are listening, yeah, hopefully they're
Like-
open to the idea of maybe getting
Right,
into
right. I
some
mean,
comics and stuff. Yeah.
we're not on like some like anthropology podcast, Like, if you don't like comics, go fuck yourself. It's like, no, but yeah, I mean, there's great stuff, and it's cool. It's cool to see Image. It's cool to see Image doing stuff like Paper Girls. That was
Like
I-
all these.
yeah.
I mean, 3 of these.
yeah, like all. I mean, Nameless. We'll get into Nameless.
Yeah,
man.
that
was like that's on some other level shit.
Yeah.
Boba.
Yeah. Why don't we just let's
Yeah,
jump in.
get into it?
I have Beauty up first.
Okay.
So this book would you like to who would like to describe the concept?
Man, let's let Jared do it.
Really, me? Why?
I don't know, just because I like the way your voice sounds.
Thank you. It's basically just about an STD that makes people beautiful, but then they find out that it has like a horrible side effect pretty
Yeah.
early on in the book too, and it picks up really fast.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and I like the that concept. Mostly they explain that at the beginning of the book. You're like, oh, it's an STD that makes you good looking. That doesn't sound bad at all.
Right.
And that's exactly how they play it out.
Yeah.
Where it's like everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna go get that now.
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah, I want that. Oh, and I can have sex to get it. That sounds just fine to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very inviting.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's like a cop drama aspect to it because there's two detectives who are trying to figure out what is happening to the people that have the beauty. It seems like they're combusting like, internally.
Yeah.
Um,
Spontaneously.
yes, and there's what do we want to call it? Like a hate group, like are they
Yeah, like an
hating?
extremist kind
Yeah.
of
The anti
anti-beauty group.
Mhm.
Just like you have anything like a Tea Party or or a Taliban or something. Yeah, I said it.
Tea
So-
like
Party,
it. I like
Taliban, ISIS. I mean,
Same thing.
The Tea Party and
ideas.
Taliban. Same shit.
There we go. Just alienating an entire another group.
You want to go?
We know this guy?
Yeah, it's Charlie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Charlie. Yeah. Way to go! All the Tea Party listeners have just
They-
fucking clicked the dislike
These
button.
liberal
Sorry, guys.
douchebags.
Oh, they can take their Captain America and shove it.
Yeah, Fox News is hating on the new Captain America. You
Yeah,
guys see that?
yeah, I've seen that. It's just like it's ridiculous. Like Captain America's always been a liberal character. You're like you
Right.
can't say
Well,
shit about that.
Now he's black
Right, which is obviously not okay.
and he's saving
I just-
illegal aliens.
All I'm saying
from a
is,
hate group.
if Captain America's black, I need to see his birth certificate because there's a good chance. There's a good chance that he's a Muslim from Kenya. And
Donald Trump has joined us.
I mean, I can see their point. Is all I'm saying. That's all.
Also, I believe the correct term is it was an unregistered immigrants is the correct.
I thought it was undocumented.
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 Undocumented. Yeah, that's
Which
the-
is
that's the
kind of
correct-
ridiculous.
Anyway, so the beauty.
Yeah, I mean, it really like by the third issue, like there's a lot going on. I mean, there's going to be some spoilers here, but there's some like serial killer who's going around killing people that are infected with the beauty.
Mhm.
There's a nice little twist that one of the detectives unknowingly is infected with the beauty,
Yeah.
and we don't know how, right? Like
We do know how.
we do.
We do know.
What
how.
did he?
His
how-
wife.
Oh, his wife.
He got it from
has
his wife.
Oh yeah, so that
She
so that
cheated on
means
him.
She cheated on him. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why it's sour grapes.
Did,
yeah.
did we just? Is this a spoiler? Do we need to like announce
Yeah,
spoiler alert?
We're gonna spoil shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
we're talking about the books.
we-
We're not going to hold back.
Yeah, we're telling people on the page like which books we're talking about. So like if you listen to this and you haven't read
Yeah.
them, that's your fault.
I'm going to put it
Right.
in the description
Yeah,
from
absolutely,
now
yeah,
on
put 'em in
too,
the
because I haven't
description,
been
yeah.
doing that.
That's a good
I didn't
idea.
do it on the
Nice.
last one.
But yeah, like the most fucking heart-wrenching part of that, and maybe I'm just a sucker, maybe I'm a mushy sucker, But he was, his partner was like, how couldn't you tell? And he was like, well, because my wife is so beautiful. I couldn't imagine her being any more beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, fuck you for making me catch feelings.
Yeah, and also it's everyone's been in the situation where you're like, yeah, you know what? Now that I look back at it, I absolutely knew about it. I just didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
I tricked myself into not seeing
He
it.
kind of
blind
says
eye.
something like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he actually does. I think he does
Yeah.
vocalize something like that. And yeah, we can all relate to that. It's like, oh yeah, I loved her, so I really didn't,
I look the other way.
I looked the other way. Yeah.
Is it really that he loved her so much, or is it he just had some lack of love for himself? If he had to fucking acknowledge that this bitch was fucking some dude with the
Well-
the beauty, then he would have to like, oh my god, it's me. I'm not enough.
I think. Well, he's a police. he's a police
It
detective.
got a little dark at the end.
Yeah, you like that?
I think when you if you're a person who like intentionally volunteers for a job that is that potentially dark, like you might have a little bit of self-loathing or some kind of,
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah.
nothing against people who are police detectives, but
No,
it's
I mean,
like,
I admire your
Jesus
dedica-
Christ, we've
dedication to the
alienated
job.
police detectives, the Tea Party. Who did I alienate?
Um,
Donald Trump?
Yeah,
Trump.
sorry about that, but
People
yeah.
that don't read comics?
We hate them all.
undocumented immigrants.
Yeah, we'll ruin stuff.
As Greg said in the last podcast, and for the 3 people who are still listening. Anyway, once
Yeah.
again, getting into these little.
I don't love the whole like kind of government, shadowy element to this.
Conspiracy
Yeah,
theories.
I'm kind of tired of that in stuff, to be
Yeah.
honest.
You're kind of right.
It's like, okay, I know. Oh, the government. There's a lady who comes in and she's like, "Don't say anything about this because we're the government and
Yeah.
we don't." And then it's like, oh, she's talking to a senator, and I know exactly where the fuck this is going. I mean, I don't, but like, I don't know why it's happening.
They could have spent a little more time on like the incidents. Of it, like,
yeah. I
going
want to see
wrong
like
and
the
stuff.
incidents, what's happening.
That would help.
Sure.
Maybe the police have some kind of, I don't know, inside track on what's happening, so like the government doesn't, because I feel at this point all the cards are in the government's hands. Like they know what's going on. They're just trying to shut them up and have them stop looking into it.
That corny fucking line where the senator was like, you know who I have to call. And neither one of us want that. I was like, dude, really? You guys are writing like a pretty good book right here. All right. This is a pretty good story. And you fucking threw that line in there.
Yeah.
Was this like 3 a.m. on a Tuesday? And your girlfriend's like, if you don't fucking come to bed right now, I swear to God, like I'm not fucking you for a month. And he's like, that's it. Hold on, this is the last frame. Okay, done, I'm coming. Like what the fuck, man?
Yeah, because regular people would have just said, "Well, I'm going to call Johnson in now," and the other person would be like, "Well, fuck," and then they're like, "Yeah, well, sorry, Johnson's
What do you want me to do about it?
Yeah,
Like this, it's
Yeah.
totally just like shit went off the rails.
yeah, like,
No,
well, you mean Johnson with the
neither
skull
one.
face, the fucking skull face guy? Yeah, him again.
The
yeah,
skull
see,
face
this is
guy.
what happens when you fuck up. I got to
The
call
one
the
who
skull
wears
face
a
guy.
fucking Mexican sugar skull on his head. Yeah,
Yeah.
when he goes out and kills
That dude.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that him. Like,
That's how normal people would have held that conversation.
right. Right.
I have to call you know who, and no one likes that. And then they laugh maniacally for like 5 seconds, and then cuts away.
Yeah. In walks Jared from Subway Subs. He's the sub, just looking around confused.
We don't talk about that, Jared, on this, okay, please?
No, we don't.
Yeah, we don't
No,
talk about him.
We don't talk about that, Jared.
I don't appreciate that. If you're listening, Jared, I don't appreciate that.
And fuck you because you did
And-
something gnarly.
And fuck you, man. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You blew it, pal. Serve that one up for you. On purpose.
Holy shit, that was great. But overall, I mean, that book is fantastic. It's shaping up great.
Yeah. The artwork's wonderful.
The artwork is really good. Yeah.
The artwork is good.
And for anyone who is turned on by a comic book nude breast, there
yeah.
are several
There
in
are.
there. Side boob,
Yeah.
the whole thing. So.
An audience member who
Charlie has stopped by and he wants to see some comic book side boob.
Comic book side boob that's on
first
right
page.
there.
Nobody's hating.
got a,
Yeah, that's
got a close above a
Yeah,
nipple.
No
that's
judgment.
No.
It's a judgment-free zone unless you're
Yeah.
Jared from Subway.
Yeah.
or Donald Trump.
Or Donald Trump. Yeah, you shouldn't have said his name.
Yeah, you just threw him under the bus.
Yeah.
Say his name 3 times, you know what'll happen.
call the skull face guy. Do we have
Nobody wants
do
that.
we have anything else to say about this book? Yeah.
No, man. I think we got it covered because we got a few more.
We have a lot
that
of stuff to talk
are-
about.
It's selling very well. Number one got a second print, so that's always a
Oh, yeah.
good sign that it's being well received. So it's worth checking out.
Okay. So we'll go to Nameless. I feel like we talked about Nameless for a little while.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What are we? 5 issues into Nameless now. So this is like we're talking about some books that have been on the shelves for a couple months now.
Yeah.
Nameless. I feel like the first 4 issues hit pretty quick, and then there was a break, and then 5 came out, and oh boy.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's what I was curious about. I was looking through these. So you got number 1 in February, number 2 in March, 3 in April, and then you don't have the 4th one till June, and then 5 came out September.
Yeah. I mean, pretty
So-
much the whole summer we didn't have any Nameless. But Nameless is we should start doing this. It's written by Grant Morrison and pencils by Chris Burnham.
he's from here.
Yeah, Chris Burnham.
Chris Burnham's
is
from Pittsburgh.
a local guy.
Oh,
He's a
that
local
dude's
guy.
from Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that dude, he can draw. Did you see some of
drawings
that?
are real nice. There.
See when he turned them maggots in that chick's face.
Oh,
Oh, dude, that freaked me out. I was
Yeah.
listening to that.
How about whenever they're in that room in a razor house
Oh my god.
and you can see there's the regular frames over
Yeah.
top of what's the results of what happened with that. It was real gnarly, but
I'm gonna tell you something right now. I was reading through that last night. I went outside. It was 1 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. I read that. I said, "Oh, I'm done. Nope, I'm putting this away for the night. I'm gonna have bad dreams all night." It was freaky. I don't watch that. I almost had to go in and watch some Bob Hope or something just to get my mind right.
and that was
And that was Nameless.
That was our neighbor Carl, who lives catty corner from your dad's house.
And he ain't never been to your mom's house. Don't listen to nothing that nobody ever told you.
So anyway, Nameless is pretty great.
The artwork is fantastic.
It really
That's
is.
what really drew me to the book.
Yes. Yeah.
Chris Burnham is amazing. These two have worked together before. Batman Incorporated a few years ago. They did wonderful things. It's confusing though. I mean, I think we can all
it's
agree
absolutely-
that
I
It's
was-
crazy
yeah.
confusing.
the story is not linear at all.
No.
It is really, really hard to follow. The artwork is very, very important to storytelling, which is pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
Chris Burnham really got into it, and he did really well. There was like that one issue. Was it 4, where like the wallpaper and stuff, like the walls, like you could see the eyes and all the weird things like around them. So like you knew like that wasn't quite reality. That wasn't really what was going on because all that weird stuff was around. But
Yeah.
then it would go to another panel and it would be normal. So I guess that was our clue. Like, okay, this is reality, because this whole book, you have to figure out what's reality and what isn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not even convinced that any of it is entirely reality.
Yeah, you might be. You might be right.
Because there's essentially, Dan and I were talking about earlier. Like, I think I'm going to say there's 3 possible scenarios, because you've got, and for anybody who has not read this is going to sound really, really confusing.
Yes.
But so the initial scenario is, an asteroid is heading towards Earth, and this private company essentially has found this guy and assembled a team to try and stop it, and also explore it.
And the guy is an expert on all things the occult.
He's like a John Constantine.
Yes.
I feel like I keep saying John Constantine every podcast. Like, he's pervading everything right now.
People are just doing it a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a cool idea, like
Yeah.
like a guy who just knows,
It's a fun, interesting character.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like some of what's going on here in Nameless, they're a similar. I don't know if I want to say similar. It felt like I had the same feelings like when I was reading that first issue of Doctor Strange. You know, this sort of surreality, this meshing between worlds. I mean, this is way more fucked up and way more. This is like
Oh,
if
yeah.
if Doctor Strange, took the fucking, I don't know, 10 hits of acid and the heroic dose.
It is. It's hardcore.
Took 7 grams of psilocybin. Like that's what would manifest.
I
Yeah.
mean, this is quite graphic and very, very violent, bloody. It's kind of scary. Like you
Yeah.
read it and you're kind of terrified a little bit.
I would not want to read it if I had taken 7 grams of psilocybin.
No.
No. In
would-
fact, once again, I think I like gave this warning on the other podcast. Like, don't fucking read this if you're tripping. Like ever. Like with Doctor Strange, don't read that either.
Yeah.
But like, definitely don't read this.
No, you'll be scared for the rest of your life.
Is it
Yeah.
Book 3's real. It's probably the
The
craziest
darkest.
one.
Yeah, that's. I was just paging through that right
Yeah.
now. Because they're spending like a lot of time. This one's almost entirely in space,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's. There you go. You can take a peek through it.
What are the fish people?
I have no idea. And in fact,
What
as
fish people? What do you mean?
when I,
The-
right,
the
that's
fish
what I
heads.
said the first time. In the first book, there's the fish guys that come out of the sea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You see that for just a minute.
Yeah, and they're only in the first book, and I'm not sure
No,
what
they
the hell
they
that is.
pop up a few times, like
When?
in the panels, but it's not like the center of the attention. Like they're there and they're not there. Like I don't quite
Right,
understand what their purpose is. Is this his
I forgot all
hallucination?
about that.
Is it a cult of people? And I think the end of that one episode where like hell is raining down on Earth. I think there's a fish person on there. And,
Yeah,
like, people are
maybe.
like beating each other,
That's when that
and
cop is like
fucking each
raping that
other.
guy on
Yeah,
the hood of a police car.
yeah. It was like all hell
Oh,
was
that-
breaking
yeah.
loose.
That's
Yeah.
issue 3. Issue 3 is bad.
Is that 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in 5, I think we're going to see more of the fish people, because in 5, there's the woman who got his dream. He got the dream key, and the woman took the dream key. Whatever, the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
with the veil on her face.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
she reappears at the end of 5. And so I think if the fish people are going to play a more substantial role in this story, it'll probably start to happen again.
This is the kind of book where when you start talking about it, and you take a step back and listen to what you're saying, and like, okay, I just said something about fish people and the veiled woman,
The woman in the veil.
and a guy raping a police officer raping a guy on the hood of a car.
Yeah.
Yep. And on that note, more bullet bourbon frontier whiskey.
It just makes it normal.
This is a good book to wildly speculate on. We can do
Absolutely.
this
Oh,
all day.
yeah. I mean, it
All day.
I read something
All day.
online after the latest issue came out, and basically the writer of the article said, like, I still don't know what the fuck's going on, but
Yeah.
this is really good, and it's like an addictive read, like, because you want to know what's going on.
Well, it's the kind of book where I can't wait for it to be finished, because not just because I want to know what happens at the end, but because I want to be able to go through and read it in its entirety, like maybe a couple times,
Yes.
Yeah.
and look to see, because I
And then
have a
you'll know
feeling
what's real and what wasn't.
right, and I kind of I want to I have the very strong feeling that things like that one page where the what's happening presently is is laid on top of what happened, like that gory scene when they're in the Razor House.
Razor
There's-
House, yeah.
like
Yeah.
it shows what's happening before, and then it's actually over top of what after. Like, maybe even the layout of the pages might have something to do with the story, and like
I think
Oh,
that's
it's
what
got
received.
to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think so.
I love that. I love it for that.
Yes.
For having me forcing me to think that deeply into like what might be happening.
If you're wondering, like, what is the point of this book? It's I sold it to people. I said it's kind of like Event Horizon, but
That's a good way to put it.
way
Yeah.
way more fucked up.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
and that was a pretty
that's
like
hard to do because Event Horizon is
yeah,
fucked
Take
up.
the
That was
sickest parts of Event Horizon,
Yeah,
but do them like way more.
yeah.
go
that,
the distance.
That was probably the pitch for this. They sat down in the meeting like, so you know Event Horizon? Everyone's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
Sam Neill's
sweet,
great.
yeah, I
Yeah,
love
yeah. Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne, absolutely.
scary
like,
movie.
You know the fucked up parts of that movie with
Yeah.
like the guy holding his eyes and stuff.
Oh, it's
like,
sweet.
oh yeah, it's terrifying. We're just gonna do that.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like, right on.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, do that. Yeah, here's some money. Go ahead and make that happen.
But I feel
It
Grant
takes
Morrison,
somebody.
like I feel like he has the reputation where he can get away with that. Like he
Yeah.
could go in and pitch this idea, and people are just gonna look at him and be like, "Well, you're Grant Morrison. Like we trust you.
Go for it.
You're gonna figure it out."
Yeah.
He has another book coming out called Claus. It's Santa Claus as a Conan type person who
I think I
goes
saw a
around
preview for that.
and kills and pillages, and it's like. I looked at that initially. I was like, that is the dumbest fucking idea ever. But then I saw who it was written by. I'm like, oh, I see why it's being made now.
Yeah.
Because it's Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
There's a movie like that with Goldberg.
Oh,
Santa
yeah,
Claus?
yeah.
Yeah.
No
I
way.
remember that coming out.
Yeah.
That was coming out, a few years ago.
The wrestler Goldberg?
Yeah,
Yep.
he's Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be like a demon or something.
Yeah.
Like that was like his backstory. Like
There's-
Santa Claus is not a nice dude.
There's a bunch of like Santa being evil movies that are
Yeah.
out. There was that one. I think there's a recent one
The
too.
Goldberg one. was pretty
No,
good.
there's one coming out. It's coming out. It's
Krampus.
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 Yeah.
Krampus.
And then there's like right
Krampus.
now there's a Krampus book.
Yeah.
I think there was a Krampus comic also.
Krampus.
Yeah, Krampus.
It sounds so fucking stupid.
Oh, dude! I mean, it's gonna be
Krampus.
stupid as shit, but I mean, it's gonna be
That's
great.
such
Like
a
I'm
funny
gonna
name,
spend
Krampus.
$9.50 and I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah.
13 if it's 3D.
Oh, I'm
But
gonna see it too.
but is there something in like the collective conscious? Is there something going on in that's like kind of pushing people towards this drive to turn Santa Claus into this like crazy
Maybe-
fucking like bastardized
Killer.
Santa?
Well, maybe there is
No,
like a,
really,
He's kinda
because it's like
scary.
it's like a cycle, right? Like we saw it like in the fucking whatever late 80s or 90s and like the horror genre. You had these Christmas themed fucking horror movies,
That's true.
and now it's like reemerging, but we're incorporating whatever Krampus, and we're
Crap.
Well, okay, maybe it's kind of like whenever you have clowns, like scary clowns, because
Right.
clowns are supposed to be.
Yeah.
But clowns inherently, like, even though they're happy and like, it's like a dude, like an adult with their face painted and like trying, like, I don't know, squeezing little horns and with a red nose and shit. It's like, it is scary. Same with Santa Claus. It's like an older man who like sits around like
Older man.
and makes toys for children. Like, why would you do
right,
that?
and then you produce children, and then you pay to get them as close as you possibly can to this fucking adult who dresses up in weird clothes and like wants to tickle your kid.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Like there are lists on the internet that you check so you don't move into a neighborhood with this guy. Like,
And as a result, like, if you make that guy actually like of bad intentions, then that's really scary.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he has good intentions, it's fucking
Yeah.
scary. Anyway.
I mean, if we want to get really deep into it, maybe it has something to do with like the fact that Christmas it has been swallowing up all the like preceding holidays for the last 15 years. It's
Ah.
creeping closer and closer to like summertime.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. So maybe people are rebelling against the idea of Christmas in general and saying like, "Oh, this is kind of evil."
Make Santa evil.
Santa's evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're way off topic now.
We are super off topic. And we're not even that drunk yet. We're not even
That's
like
true.
I'm buzzed.
Yeah, we'd like to apologize for the last 10 minutes of the first podcast because we at that point had been drinking for a while and I think kind of went off the rails a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, that was some common criticism we heard.
Yes.
But we're still trying to get our bearings and see how to do
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah, I suppose I should probably just apologize to everybody listening who listened to the first podcast because I spent the entire next day apologizing because
we don't need to get into it, but
all of those things were brought to you by Bullet Bourbon Frontier Whiskey. Thank you, Bullet Bourbon.
yes.
I
is delicious, though.
think if you were listening to the first podcast, you could follow Dan's demise. Like he went off that
Demise.
he went off that rant like about the cosplay Tony Stark people.
Oh yeah.
And then like you knew like,
You're like, okay, this is going downhill.
he's
fast
ramping it
now.
up. He's getting into that bullet.
Yeah.
He's getting.
And I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Well, I do
So-
a little.
So okay, who has theories about this Nameless book? Anybody?
I have one. I have
Okay.
one, and it's just it's just one. Like we had talked earlier, of like several possibilities. Like and this is the craziest fucking possibility, but it'd be kind of rad if he was the soul of the stillborn son of the stillborn twin of that
Zabalba.
no
That
the
wouldn't make
professor or not professor, what the fuck is his name? Darius.
Oh, right. Yeah, the guy, the rich guy.
The rich guy.
The
the
recruited
financier.
him.
Yeah, Sophia was saying at one point like he was stillborn and he was nameless.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, nameless, and this dude's nameless.
right.
Maybe
Ah.
he's like
Oh,
this like
yeah.
ethereal being like existing between all of these worlds simultaneously.
Yeah. Maybe they're all alternate realities that he's somehow traversing all at the same time.
Maybe he's just existing on different planes where all of this shit is actually happening at the same time.
Damn.
Yeah.
That would be nuts.
Boom!
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 would be nuts.
You're welcome. Pick up your brains.
I was just gonna say like maybe the first thing happened, and the third thing happened, and the second thing happened. But now I don't think that.
I really don't know.
I don't either.
I mean, I'm reading it and I'm trying to say like, I'm trying to stick to the most linear of possibilities. Like, he was recruited, he goes to space, he is on the asteroid, and the demon on the asteroid is fucking with his head and
Showing him
everyone
everything,
else's.
yeah.
And
All
it's
this stuff.
like showing him the past, present, future, everything. The Razor House is definitely a past event that traumatized him in some terrible way, and I think he is having to deal with the consequences of that and being on the asteroid
but
is
if-
bringing that out.
If the Razor House actually did happen, it happened with all the people he's with in space. Like they're all the same characters.
That's true.
So
Yeah,
it
that's true.
cannot. Both of those things cannot have happened in either order. Like
Yeah,
Razor House was first, space was first. Doesn't matter because
it's the same
everyone
people.
dies in both of those scenarios.
That's true.
And we see Darius like with one of those things attached to his back
Right.
consuming him. So not necessarily, but presumably that would be the end of the story if the space version
Yeah.
is reality.
Yeah.
Because he's the one funding the moon base. He's
Right.
the one funding Valiant and Valiant 2 or White Valiant, whatever the fuck it's called.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's all.
But it horror, sci-fi, it hits pretty heavy on those genres.
Yeah, and this is a great book to read. Like if you're into, horror or sci-fi, or if you just want something interesting to read and that's beautiful, disgusting but beautiful.
Yeah.
And we're only 5 issues in, so you can easily find all the ones that are out so far.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And get into something really cool.
It's an image book. They do that. They'll take chances.
Yeah, we were talking about that
They'll do-
earlier.
Yeah.
Let's address that because with Marvel and DC, they stick to their superheroes pretty consistently. They don't do a lot of stuff that's outside the lines. But
Right.
then Image and like Valiant and Vertigo, even IDW has been doing stuff.
Mhm.
It's really interesting, and not just superhero stuff.
Right.
Things that are allowing artists to create stories that are. It could be some stories are only like 4 issues long. They're like go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
Uh,
get a 4-issue miniseries.
Yeah, and I really appreciate those.
Yeah. Dark Horse. I mean, they Chuck Palahniuk approached Dark Horse and said, "I want to do Fight Club 2 as a comic."
Yeah.
Yes.
They
I
said,
mean,
of course, they said yes.
yeah, and it's really popular and
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
How many issues are there supposed to be on that?
I don't know because it never says in the solicitations it doesn't say 6 of 12, for example.
Right.
It just says issue 6. So it makes me think it's going to be an ongoing for some time. 5 issues in now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean all these smaller publishers, and I don't mean smaller in a insulting way. I just mean it.
They just
you have your
move
big
less
2.
books. Yeah.
Yeah, you have your big 2 Marvel DC, but then you have all these other publishers who are fighting to put their product out. And one thing they do is they let the creative teams, the writers and the artists, do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a result, you get edgier stuff. You get more adult, but you cover more genres. With Marvel and DC, you're stuck. Like if you get hired to write Captain America, you can only do so much as much
Yeah.
as Marvel will let you. Same with like Superman and DC. You know, you cannot write something like Nameless. You know, like Captain America, you know, goes up against Zabulba. Like that doesn't happen. But you know, these other smaller publishers, they have that opportunity. I know Jonathan Hickman just left Marvel recently. Like he finished Secret Wars. He said, "I'm out. I'm gonna go work on my creative owned stuff with Image." Rick Remender, he tapped from Marvel too. He said, "I'm out. I'm gonna go work on my own stuff with Image." So you know, it's more profitable for these guys too, the creators. But if you're looking for a good story, I mean, it's there. It's nothing to do with capes and superheroes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really changed the market as a whole. I mean, we talked about how last week is the golden age of superheroes because we're seeing it all on television and the movies, but it's also like for the creators, the writers and the artists, they got the keys to do whatever they want as a result of all that other stuff. So.
Yeah, it's almost like a I don't know, a second coming of when superheroes first came out. Because like like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, they were just like, oh well, you got this new thing happening. How about a guy who's a spider? We'll call him I don't know, SpiderMan. We'll do that. That sounds like that people would like that.
That's Jack good.
Yeah. It was probably like that for those guys. It was like there's nothing here now, so we just do whatever we want.
Yeah, like where do we go from here?
Yeah, yeah. People are gonna buy it. Kids are gonna buy it. They like superheroes. Yeah.
But like again, like those guys were speaking to the margins, right?
Yeah.
And what's interesting to think about, and not to like get too far off on some like sociological tangent here, but like they were speaking to the margins then with Spider-Man and like these superheroes and these stories and these fantastical stories that were emerging, right? And people are, oh, this is garbage, this is shit, and there's like this small group who are like, oh, this really resonates with me. Now that has moved entirely into the mainstream.
Oh yeah.
Right? Good luck meeting somebody who doesn't know who fucking Spider-Man or Superman or Batman is.
Yeah.
And now you have this stuff like Nameless. You have Beauty. You have all the comics we're talking about tonight.
Yeah.
Who are appealing to those probably proportionate margins that Spider-Man initially was.
Oh, yeah, and sure.
And so what is that saying about this, about what the fuck we're thinking about, about like where the fuck we are, what the fuck we want, what we need.
Yeah.
Fuck you for laughing at me.
What good storytelling.
You know what I mean? Like, what do we need? Like when we have free time, we have very few minutes in the day.
Well,
some of us have very few minutes in the day where we want to escape. We want to get into something. We really want to enjoy something. And I'm not saying there's no judgment in this at all, but what is it suggesting that, we have these amazing and successful books like Nameless, like Beauty.
Yeah.
Like The Walking Dead or
like
Saga.
The Walking Dead. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
The
like
sales are insane for those books.
Yeah.
And The Walking Dead has even long surpassed the margins and is like totally fucking mainstream.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to think about. The same things, like the same shit that was appealing to the margins, whatever, 50 years ago, is absolutely mainstream. Everyone's into it. Everybody's parents and kids and whatever.
Yeah.
And now the margins, are
allowing for these types of things.
No, not more marginal. Like probably proportionately marginal, but getting interested in these. We gotta transition.
Oh no!
Go ahead.
God. No,
Oh,
just time checking.
yeah, well, we got a time check because I can fucking rant. Sorry, I'm passing the sticks.
No. Yeah,
No,
I want
good.
because we're for those of you who don't know, we're going to do this in two parts so that those of you who really enjoy it, you don't have to sit through an entire 2-hour one podcast if you want to listen to an hour in the car and then you can pause it or go to wait till the next one to get you're driving home from work or whatever, or while you're vacuuming or
Yes.
Masturbating.
Masturbating.
Matt, what?
Yeah. I
Again,
mean,
like Dan said earlier today, where do you go to find some sexy men? Find your local comic book shop.
Hey.
Cruise in there.
I'm going to go ahead and say that everybody in the comic book shop right now is pretty good looking. So, you know, if,
I mean,
if anybody's coming in
that's
for
a
that,
fair statement.
yeah, I think
That's-
everybody, you know, if you're looking for that, this is a good place to come in.
Podcast.
We are defeating the stereotype.
Yeah, we are absolutely
One
defeating.
day at a
We're
time.
going to talk about that. by
We're
the
at least
way.
contesting it.
No, we are in the future. In the future, we're going to talk about like because we had this conversation before.
Yes, we
The stereotype of like everyone who likes comics is like a mole person, and that is
Right,
absolutely
right.
not true.
we will get to that one day.
And I am sick and goddamn tired of it.
It's not the way it is anymore.
No. No, we're not.
Bro.
Yeah,
Any-
I feel like that would
any-
drive away some of the people who are
Yes.
listening.
Yeah.
Any last comments on Nameless?
I can't wait for the next one to come out.
Yeah.
Do you know when's the next one?
I
supposed to
don't.
be?
I don't.
Okay. Or even how many there's supposed to be total?
I don't know that either.
Oh,
I do know Grant Morrison did his homework though, because I read the issues with Wikipedia up and running.
I actually did. After you said that, I did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean he knows a lot about the occult.
Mhm.
He's a weird dude.
and it's cool. Even flipping through some of these, anybody who is into like the occult or symbolism.
Or horror. Like it's got a great horror element to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But there's
That's-
recognizable like symbolism in it.
Yeah, it goes
like the
deeper than
first
that.
front cover of the first issue is the Hand of Fatima, like
Yeah.
right on Nameless's fucking mask, you know,
Yeah.
and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you did some research or know more than I do, you'd recognize a lot more of these symbols.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think we can probably take a little break here. I think we need to get some more whiskey.
Yeah, take a
'cause-
break and we got what? Paper Girls and Twilight Children.
Yeah.
On the
fuck
docket.
yeah,
Yeah.
Coming up
killers,
next.
killers.
Yeah. Yeah. Up next, Paper Girls, Twilight Children. Stay tuned.